Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera to all panels. I'm Zari Shakira binti Anwar.
And my name is Siti Fatimah binti Hasdi.
We are from Bachelor of Administrative Science. So today we want to present on our research topic, which is factors that lead youth to join the National Service Training Program. This research was conducted for the purpose to observe the factors that lead youth to join the National Service Training Program after it has been stopped operating in 2018. The National Service Training Program, or being called as PLKN, was one of the initiatives done by the government in maintaining the harmonies of everyone who living in Malaysia. It was as a medium for the countries to reduce a lot of teenagers' problems that are still hard to be overcome, as they are the group that love freedom and also hate being controlled. The government had taken a proper initiative to build a quality generation in the future to avoid the eroding of social morals.
The PLKN program had been abolished since 2018. According to the ex-Youth and Sports Prime Minister, Syed Saddiq bin Abdul Rahman, said that the PLKN program had brought different perspective or interpretation. The government abolished the PLKN as the way to ensure the expenditure of government can be reduced, as well as focusing more on removing the political appointees. The government had made some restructure in some areas in minimal cost. It is because the government stated that it was 50% of the budget allocated being used to pay for the rental of campsite and transportation. The social problem had been arisen in Malaysia and continuously been highlighted issue. With all that issue arise, it is necessary for the government to implement back the PLKN for the young generation. As stated by Chow 2012 that there are many problems or issues related with young people where they involved in illegal racing, drugs and more. There were many news that common in mass media related to youth issue which had been involved in violence and crime and reflect badly on the state of affairs in Malaysia. Not only that, the spirit of patriotism among young generation also fade as a result of globalization and modernization. The youth also easily influence and get along with the trend now, and especially in Western country. So the implementation of program comes with the purpose to foster a more harmonious country as a way to overcome and settle down a lot of problems and issues among the race itself. Therefore, we have come out with the 3 research questions, which is: what is the relationship between the patriotism and the National Service Training Program, national security and the National Service Training Program, and unity and the National Service Training Program? Next, research objective, which is this research is aimed to analyse the factors that lead youth to join the National Service Training Program among UiTM Kampus Seremban 3 students. In order to achieve this objective, we have focused on investigating on the following objective, which is to identify the patriotism, national security and unity with the National Service Training Program.
In conceptual framework, there are independent variable and also dependent variables. In independent variable, it consists of patriotism, national security and also unity. While in dependent variable is actually the factors that lead youth to join the National Service Training Program. The conceptual framework is actually show the relationship between those variables. These are the 3 factors that lead you to join the National Service Training Program. Therefore, the independent variable will be used the data collection to find out if there is any significant relationship between those independent variable and also the dependent variable.
So the first hypothesis statement is patriotism. According to Kuhasnita and Muhammad Haizam 2009, patriotism can be defined as a way for showing support for the country. So there's a correlation between the patriotism and the factors that lead youth to join the National Service Training Program. The second hypothesis statement is national security. National security has also been called as a national defense. It is related to the country's security and defense. Not only that, it is also related to the citizen, institution as well as economy, which can be considered as the government duty. There's a correlation between the national security and the factors that lead youth to join the National Service Training Program. The last hypothesis statement is unity. Unity in a country is necessary medium to build a more harmonious country as well as society, as Malaysian people been living in a country that have different and various races. So, National Service Training Program seems as relevant program as it brought to the changes in avoiding isolation from the multiple racial. There is a correlation between the unity and the factors that lead youth to join the National Service Training Program.
This study was conducted in quantitative methods. All the data were mainly collected from the questionnaire, and in other words, it's actually referring to the Charter method in terms of analysis as well as the data collections. And the primary data from the survey is actually involved the students of University Technology Mara Campus Seremban 3 students. The units of analysis in this study is actually involved the University Technology Mara Campus Seremban 3 students. The data actually mainly collected through the medium of questionnaire where each of the students need to answer the question given. The sample size in this study is actually referring to the students of University Technology Mara Campus Seremban 3 students. There are about 5,000 students in UiTM Campus Seremban. We have been decided to choose around 350 students as a respondents for this study. The sampling technique in this study actually was conducted among the students in UiTM Seremban 3 students, especially in the Faculty of Administrative Science, where the participant will be selected using the simple random sampling approach in view of the fact that the participants are the students who are undergoing the National Service Training Program. So in this study for independent variable, the question was developed based on these factors, which is patriotism, national security, and also unity. Proposed questions will be covered into 5 sections, which is the first section is actually referring to demographic profile, and for section B, factors that lead you to join the National Service Training Program. For section C, is actually referring to the patriotism. Section D, national security. Section E, unity. So in this study, will be used the light artist scale. So in this study, the light artist scale will be used with the measurement of 5 strongly agree, 4 agree, 3 neutral, 2 for disagree, and 1 for strongly disagree. The data collection. In this study, the respondent actually been chosen among the students of your ITM campus Shembantika student. The data were mainly collected from the questionnaire, which is distributed to the respondent through the medium of Google Form, which is the main platform, and also we actually been using the WhatsApp apps to actually distribute the questionnaire.
We are using statistical package for the social sign or SPSS as our tools in finalize the result. For a demographic profile, the measure that we are using by frequency and also percentage. And for the hypothesis, we are using Pearson correlation in identify the significant relationship between the independent variable and also dependent variable. As you can see from the table, gender, female, has already taken the place with 161 with the percentage of 53.7% rather than male, which is 139 with the percentage of 46.3%. The largest number of respondent age, which is 22 until 25 years old, which represent 228, that equal to the 76%. Following with the marital status, which single has the largest number of respondents, which is 293 respondents, equal to the 98.7%, rather than married only 7 respondents, equal to 2.3% only. Religion, which Islam has the largest number of respondents, which is 296 respondents, equal with the 98.7%, while Buddhists only have 4 respondents, which is 1.3%. Followed with the race, Malay has the largest number of respondents, which 294 respondents with the percentage of 98%. Finally, from the data collected, it shows that most of the respondents joined the National Service Training Program with the frequency of 154, equal to the 51.3%, while respondents that are not joined the National Service Training Program with the frequency of 146 respondents, equal to the percentage of 48.7% only.
So now we're going to look into the main findings. Based on the table, it shows that the value of patriotism. So the result of the patriotism, the Pearson correlations indicates the value of 0.881. So 0.881 is also can be stated as moderated, but it shows that there are relationship between the patriotism and also the factors that lead you to join the National Service Training Program. And based on the table and all the rest of other independent variables, it shows that there are relationship between those variable, independent and also dependent variable. The value of the skewness will be normal if the value fall within the range of -2 to +2. Meanwhile, for the criticism, the value will be normal if the value within the range of -7 to +7. So based on the table, shows that the normative result fulfill the assumption of normality.
I will proceed with the limitation of the study. Firstly is lack of variable. This research has a limitation in terms of lack of variable because it is only focused on the evaluation for a few independent which related to the factors of used to join the National Service Training Program. Hence, the researcher only concerned with the independent variables which specific factor, that is patriotism, national security, and unity, because it is somehow straightforward and easy to link between the relationship. It is recommendable that other variables such as environmental effect or social impact and so on and so forth are included so that the result of the research might be more knowledgeable and intuitive. The next limitation is complexity on the physical discussion because of the pandemic that occurred. It had caused difficulties among the researcher and also supervisors. Both of the researcher and supervisors the location is different and far away. It had caused many lack of understanding in complex situation, lack of knowledge sharing, problem solving. So whenever the subject cannot be understood by the researcher, the lecturer needs to justify in once more. So as a supervisor, we are unable to reach the supervisor face to face, though he will guide and assist the researcher until it can be understood. As for the recommendation, there are various mediums that are easily available in the virtual world now, such as Google Meet, WhatsApp video call, and Microsoft Teams, and so on. It helps both researchers to comprehend more and achieve precise understanding in particular subject. Last but not least is quantitative limitation. Because quantitative analysis is conducted on statistics, qualitative research is much more accurate or scientific. Besides, quantitative research method also involve a questionnaire method with survey questionnaires. So the above leads to limited outcomes outlined in the research proposal. All the respondents have limited choice of responding based on the list that are done by researcher. In my opinion, in the study, data collection could perhaps focus further on the accuracy of the data. The researcher might communicate to a group of people about their feelings, views, values, and attitude towards the subject in focused group of discussion. In this kind of way, usually all the respondents in the same group with the same income, education or profession. In addition, researcher will be able to retrieve more additional details about this research.
The first recommendation, the government must increase the amount of youth joining the National Service Training Program. Therefore, find necessary measures to increase the number of participants in PRKN program. And the government must always increase the number of camps that can accommodate more participants and also equip with the facilities and also provide comfort more to the participants during the 3 months period. So the next recommendation, which is the second recommendation, is actually government need to reboot the National Service Training Program. So National Service Training Program, or being called as PLKN, is indeed very effective in instilling the spirit of enthusiasm and also patriotism and the love for the country in the upcoming generations of the era of globalization. In measure to maintain the positiveness of the society, the government should re-implement back the program and make it better, and also provide more employment opportunities, especially for those officers and also coaches, to support the livelihood of those whose contract is actually were terminated earlier. So the last recommendation, which is the government can improve the National Service Training Program modules by enhance the physical and also the mental training of trainees on a military basis. The core base of a National Service Training Program was to form a society which enhanced the courageous, confidence, loyal to the country, and also equipped to the comfort any challenge or any battles, as well as how to foster the cooperations and unity among the multiracial country. The government may consider upgrading the modules, such as strengthening the physical and also mental activities of the trainees in terms of military bases, such as, for example, in foreign countries. So as a conclusion for this research, for this study has shown that all the independent variables, which are the patriotism, national security, and also unity, actually a positive practice that lead you to join the National Service Training Program. This program should be continued in the future generations, because PRKN is actually a good platform in shaping and also molding a young generation that has a sense of patriotism and also leadership. So that's all our presentation on our research topic, which is the factors that lead you to join the National Service Training Program. Thank you for your time. Thank you.